Hello everyone. In this video we will cover how to create cluster from graphical user interface of PowerHA system mirror. Before creating cluster from the GUI, we need to do some manual efforts. We need to provide the IP addresses and the host names of the nodes that we are going to take under the cluster onto files. The first one is host. As we can see, the IP addresses and host names are already present in this file. The second one is cluster rosts. Here we only provide IP addresses of the nodes that we are taking to create cluster. So, that's all for manual efforts. Now we come back to the GUI. On the GUI, Create Cluster option appears at two places. The first one is next to Health Summary. On clicking this Create Cluster options, it lands us on Create Cluster widget. The second option appears right here. On clicking this option, we can see a pop-up appears with two options, where we can add an existing cluster, or add cluster. If we click on the Create Cluster, it will land us on the same Create Cluster widget. So let's proceed. This is the first step of Create Cluster widget. Here we need to provide the IP address or host name of the first node of our cluster. Let's try with the host name. Go to PowerHA and type host name command. Copy and paste the host name right here. We need to provide login ID and password of that node as well. After filling all the details, click Continue and wait for the next widget to appear. On the current screen we need to provide name of the cluster. Let's type demo cluster. As you can see, we have type of cluster selected as standard by default. In Linux we only support standard clusters, so this is a default selection. Click on Continue and wait for third widget to appear. We land on the third widget. Here we include other nodes of our cluster. This text box is for selection of the nodes. If I start typing in the text box, we can see auto-populated list will be generated. This list appears from the contents of hosts file. Say we choose one and click Continue. So this is the final page of our cluster creation widget. It will tell us the summary of whatever we selected in previous steps. Like cluster name is demo cluster. Cluster type is standard. Host name. Login ID root. Authentication type is password. And displaying assigned cluster nodes host names. Now click Submit button and wait for cluster to be created. We can see cluster creation in progress message is appearing right on the top. Simultaneously we can check at the backend whether the cluster is created or not. You can see a cluster creation is under progress. It is still under progress. Now we can see our cluster is successfully created at the backend. We can see the nodes we selected from the GUI are part of the cluster. After the cluster is created at the backend, GUI auto-discovers the cluster and we can see it here. And cluster's default state is offline. That's all for this video. Thank you.